Hey, what is going on, freedom fighters? Welcome back to Tyranny Response Tuesday on Break the Chains Media. Today is August 12th, 2025, and I'm your host, Corey. We are going to get into it today. Texas talking about redistricting. They actually passed it. The Democrats were storming out of the state house because, you know, that's just what Democrats do. They're a bunch of theater kids trying to make sense of it all. We're also going to talk about the the legalization of weed, and in Colorado, and in comparing and contrasting to the crime. We're going to talk about the crime epidemic that's happening in Colorado and in other liberal democratic cities in the country, and how the legalization of weed maybe is a culprit, maybe not. We'll see, because I have my own opinion as a native and as someone who participates and actually did vote for the legalization of weed. I have a very interesting take, but I think it's the most logical take that makes the most sense. So we're going to get into that. We're also going to talk about Denver. Just recently, there was a ballot measure or something in regards to the ballot measure regarding ranked choice voting. So we're going to get into that. We're going to talk about what ranked choice voting is and how it is terrible, and how we should make sure we do not institute ranked choice voting here in America, whether it's city districts or county districts. It doesn't matter. Ranked choice voting is how Canada has become the laughing stock of the North American continent with their ranked choice voting, having Justin Trudeau being the Prime Minister of Canada, getting a minority vote in totality of Canadian provinces. But that's neither here nor there. I'm not Canadian. I don't give a fuck about them. So with that being said, if this is the first time joining Break the Chains Media, hit that thumbs up button. Join me. We do live streams Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday nights here on Break the Chains Media. You can find me on X. You can find me on YouTube. You can find me on Rumble. I have other places you can find me too. You can also find me at breakthechains.media. That is the website, the landing page here. All the socials here, all the articles here, just a little bit about me, stuff like that. And if you are interested, Realm Walker Hot Sauce is the sponsor of every live stream of Break the Chains Media. Locally made hot sauce, Realm Walker Hot Sauce. Travel the 9 realms of Norse mythology through hot sauce, from mild to extreme heat. We're going to be bottling up some great flavors, great stuff here. We've got all of these coming on. Each one is named after one of the 9 realms of Norse mythology. So if you like Norse mythology, if you like Nordic and Viking lore, each one of these different flavors comes from a different realm of Norse mythology. You have Muspelheim, you've got Asgard, you got Ragnarok, you've got Vanaheim, Midgard, Niflheim, all the different flavors, all the different descriptions here. Realm Walker Hot Sauce at breakthechains.media. That is the website. But we are going to jump right into it, folks. I did post this yesterday. We did talk about this yesterday, but it's so fitting and it's so perfect, and it's just a great example of what Denver has become and how Denver has decayed and fallen apart over the last 10, 15 years at least. But if we are going to be talking about the legalization of marijuana and the conversation in Colorado and what the rise of crime and this, that, and the other, I just thought it was amazing because this picture is very palpable. You can smell this picture as you look at it. You've got the steaming piles of trash hanging above that is these gigantic installments of air fresheners. And in the Mile High City, it is ironic that in the Mile High City, the stench of smoking weed in public is actually drowned out by this alleyway right here. We are the Mile High City, but you will not smell any marijuana if you walk down this alley. I just think that's kind of funny. It's a nice little homage to the state of Denver, the state of Colorado, the situation that we are in. But I wanted to kind of touch on that. But this is we've got the article here talking about ranked choice voting and the many flaws of ranked choice voting from Westward. Denver City Council. This is yesterday, and I want to be clear. They did vote it. I don't want to bury the lead because ranked choice voting did fail, as per Denver Gazette as well as Denver Post. Denver City Council rejects ranked choice voting, advances change for at-large seats. This is from the Denver Post, but I'm going to read from the Denver Gazette. because screw the Denver Post, right? Where is it here? How do I? I've got to subscribe. I love having this opportunity. I would love to read your article, but I can't subscribe to you. I'm sorry. I don't subscribe to websites like this. You know, it's kind of maybe it's. I guess I got to go back. I got to go back to this. Denver City Council on Monday night narrowly rejected a ballot measure that would ask voters to convert most of its city elections to ranked choice voting while advancing a potential change to how its 2 at-large members are elected. The ranked choice voting proposal was rejected 7-6. Thank you. And on its first reading, the at-large proposal also proposed charter amendments for the November ballot, passed its first vote 7-6. It advanced to the final vote next Monday. I do not live in Denver, but you have to be aware as a Colorado resident, these are the progressive tactics of inner city politics. They try to instill these socialist or these left-leaning politics, so that you end up with ranked choice voting being the main proponent on how you get minority candidates winning seats because they have 17% of the vote. Because if there's ties between candidates or candidates move around, you end up having a minority candidate win these seats. Okay. The late night meeting brought rare moments of tension between 13 council members, 2 of whom could be directly impacted by the changes. This is unkind legislation that somebody has to be willing to name it, said Councilwoman Chantel Lewis, who represents Northeast District 8. The proposal would split the council's at-large council positions into separate seats. Under current rules, those members are on top 2 votes getters. Let me slow down. Under current rules, those members are the top 2 vote getters in a single question on the ballot. The proposal would instead create an at-large A and an at-large B ballot races, requiring candidates in each to secure a majority to win. The 2 at-large council members, Sarah and Serena, both won their seats with less than 25% of the total votes in 2023. They both voted against the changes on Monday. Joining them in voting were Lewis, Paul, and Jamie, the sponsors. So I'd like to read this. Actually, let's go back because I want to read what this actually says. So yeah, instant runoff. So New Republican Colorado. Let me see if I can. If you don't call it ranked choice voting, it won't show up on Google. A bill for an ordinance implementing the instant runoff voting amends the revised municipal code to reflect the charter amendment concerning instant runoff voting. The committee has approved filing this item at its meeting. This was in July. But we have a problem in our city councils. We have a problem in Colorado because you end up seeing. Let's read here. This is from Westward. Okay? Yeah. The public hearing was today for the ranked choice voting. Councilmember Kevin Flynn prepared this memo on the proposal. Before diving into this lengthy memo summarizing 7 years of research and data mining, or in lieu, if you don't want to read it, consider these main points. Unlike our runoff system, ranked choice voting cannot guarantee majority winners, forcing us to repeal the charter requiring for it. Disenfranchises voters by not including their ballots in the final results if they fail to rank the right candidates. Those not eliminated during rounds of counting, which is what most often prevents majority winners. Does not save money from runoffs because it has to be spent instead of on comprehensive and continual voter education campaigns, eating up those savings. Uses confusing ballot configuration that contributes the voter error, disqualifying their ballots. This is a fantastic article. Ranked choice voting is a step backward from Denver because by By repealing the runoff guarantee of majority winners, it effectively takes us back to plurality voting, which we used to have, in which the person with the most votes wins no matter the percentage. That's interesting. So, but isn't that democracy, though? Right? It effectively takes us back to plurality, which we used to have, in which the person with the most votes wins no matter the percentage. Oh, I see. No. I'm reading it wrong. With the most votes wins. So the majority votes, not based on percentage. But, well, where does the percentage come in? That's interesting. Doesn't RCV or instant runoff result in majority winners? No. Most often it fails to do so. That's why the draft charter amendment includes a repeal of our requirement for majority winners. Ranked choice voting can't guarantee that result, although its lobbyists and literature keeps claiming so. Data I've compiled from 72 ranked choice voting decided elections going back 20 years in its peer cities and elsewhere shows that nearly 3 out of 4 winners failed to achieve the majority of the vote. So this sentence right here says it all. 20 years in peer cities and elsewhere show that nearly 3 out of 4 winners of ranked choice voting failed to achieve a majority of the vote. In the worst case, San Francisco winner was declared despite receiving only 24% of the vote on the 20th round of transferring votes. Yet 76% of voters did not vote for that candidate. Ranked choice voting reported that this candidate won with the majority of 53%. How did it figure that? By tossing out more than half of the voters from the final count because they failed to, quote, rank either the first or second place finishers. The winner received only a slim majority of fewer than half the total ballots cast. Of all the voters who turned in their ballots, only 46% of them have their votes counted on a final result. So ranked choice voting, if you do not rank your votes on the ballot, your votes get thrown out, and then as the rolls get counted over and over again, they end up winning by minority. It's a ass backwards way to vote for democracy, to use democracy, right? To use their argument of you're threatening democracy. This was a direct threat to democracy if the liberals and the Democrats actually had a brain. This is the only way they can win. This is the only way that they can win these elections, because they usually, and at the end of the day, take the 80-20 issue, and their positions are in the minority position, so they can't win the moral argument. This is why they have to resort to ranked choice voting. This is why. Okay? The New Republic in Colorado, great channel. I highly recommend following him on X. This person's been doing great work. Fantastic. Okay? We have to work together here in Colorado and other leftist hellholes, right? But ranked choice voting is a serious issue. It's a serious concern, not just for Colorado. Thank God it was stopped. But that doesn't mean it's going to quit, right? This policy feels like it's unfairly targets council people who are actually incredibly effective and are moving their city in direction that I think a lot of folks have been in power having a really rough time adjusting to. The members representing districts in Denver mayor and the clerks and recorder and the auditor are elected through runoff systems. That means if there's not a majority winner in the initial election, the top 2 vote getters in a race compete in another election. Do you see that? For the city to adopt the changes, the council would have to approve the concept on a second reading next week, and a majority of Denver voters would have to vote in favor of it. The council allowed public comment on each of the election proposals Monday night. Later in the evening, the council narrowly rejected the larger ranked choice voting election proposal. It would have applied to all but the city's at-large council races. The system, sometimes called an instant runoff voting, allows voters to rank candidates in order of preference rather than choosing only one. If no candidate receives more than 50% of the first choice votes, the candidate with the fewest first choice votes is eliminated. Then the second ranked opinions on that ballot on those ballots are counted. The process continues until one candidate has the majority of votes. Do you see how they manipulate a democratic electoral process? These people that promote the saving democracy are in fact weaponizing democracy to retain their power through minority means. Do you see this? Do you see this? This concept has gained popularity in recent years and is now used in dozens of jurisdictions, including New York, San Francisco, Minneapolis, Maine, and Alaska. Oh, imagine that. How many of those states, how many of those cities are in blue fucking districts or blue states, right? Everyone but Alaska. But Alaska's, no offense, but Alaska's, not very popular. It doesn't really have very many people, so it could easily be swayed with minority decisions. Colorado voters rejected a statewide version of the concept in 2024, but Denver voters narrowly supported that measure, Proposition 131. So I'm glad that ranked choice voting has been kicked to the curb in Denver, but that doesn't mean that they're not going to come back for more. That doesn't mean that they're not going to come back and try to at least fight for that later, because that's how these Democrats operate. They have to continuously take any ground that they can, and by whatever means necessary, right? So yeah, if you like, I'm kind of space brained at the moment, but that's just kind of how we are sometimes, right? You're living with me, you're hanging out with me, we're having a good time on this Tyranny Response Tuesday. I'm trying to amp up the energy here. Because it's been a long day. It's been a weird day. It's been a weird vibe day. I'm gonna be honest with you, but we're gonna keep chugging. We're gonna keep making it work. But yeah, we're gonna switch gears here. We've been rambling on that for what, 15, 20 minutes now? Yeah, 30 minutes. I don't even know. But here we are. We're crushing it. Let's go into a contested conversation that I had earlier today. We were going to talk about, where is it? I'm going to get rid of that article. Yeah, this conversation. Okay. Where are we at? Where are we at? Yeah, here we go. Right here. Let's take a listen, folks. Let's take a listen. Where are we at? Starting.
Then going to the black league.
So, preface. A lot of people on X and on the interwebs, or we're all, particularly these right wing officials, these people on X, these people in social media, these right wing content creators here. They have been talking about how the legalization of marijuana has directly impacted Colorado's crime rate. Same thing in California, okay? And to be fair, I'm not disagreeing with that. I think that there is a correlation to legalization of various drugs and crime and overall. However, I am also a staunch proponent of ending the drug war or this quote-unquote drug war. The drug war that we probably already lost, right? The war on drugs, the drugs obviously won because the drugs are getting legalized. And not just marijuana, but fentanyl and opium and just terrible street drugs, okay? The only thing I think that is not being legalized right now is crack. Cocaine, right? But so all of these drugs are. I think Denver, even the city of Denver, legalized mushrooms. I don't think mushrooms are a drug, but that's neither psychedelics and in that aspect, I don't think are drugs. I think they're definitely more plant medicine, in my opinion. This is my opinion, folks. I'm giving you my opinion, but I think that psilocybin is a plant medicine, and it can be used to treat a variety of PTSD and psychological trauma, and rewires the brain. Many different benefits. Paul Stamets is a great dude, and his his last time on Joe Rogan was fantastic, excellent podcast. However, we're not talking about psilocybin. We are talking about the legalization of marijuana. We're talking about the crime rates in Colorado, the crime rates in Denver. And while there are similarities into what's going on, I do not blame marijuana as the culprit. I blame the Marxist policies and the Marxist DAs, these progressive judges, these progressive DAs, these progressive attorney generals, these light on crime, soft on crime, or letting people go. It's a prime example. The creature that was released yesterday after trying to kidnap a kid in Aurora. Remember that psycho? The DA dropped charges because of mental concerns. Okay, these are the problems. This is the reason why we have a higher crime rate in Colorado, not because of a drug. Now, to be fair, people moved here to Colorado because it was a novelty, because it was cool, because it was hip to come to Colorado, smoke some reefer, man. It's gonna be a good old time. But let's listen to this video. Let's listen to this right here, and we're going to get into a breakdown here, okay? Get into a breakdown.
Is literally the cover for drug dealers to continue. Legalization is literally the cover for drug dealers to continue doing what they do. And not only that, legalization has promoted the use of the substance, so it's creating more demand, and that demand is then going to the black market, going to the dealers, going to the cartels. And so we're having more issues with violent crime and property crime. In fact, there's a lot of research now that's coming out in Colorado and a couple other states that's found in places where there's legalization, there's more violent crime. It's gone up astronomically in Colorado since we legalized it, more property crime. And that's because we're seeing more cartel activity, more drug dealers involved. It's odd to me to see some Republicans out there espousing legalization of marijuana for whatever reason, liberty reasons, whatever it might be. When we're in the middle of a crime crisis, we're pointing to violent crime, we're pointing to property crime. You ask any chief of police what the driving factor is for property theft and car theft, it's to buy drugs. So it is a really weird look to, on the one hand, say we need to address the crime crisis in this country, and then on the other hand say let's keep passing laws to legalize marijuana when we know from the research that it is driving up crime in states that have chosen to legalize it. You look at the crime rates in Colorado and California and these other states and compare it to the crime rates in states where they don't have legal marijuana and they don't have legal drugs. It is a totally different picture.
Okay, thoughts on that? There's a lot of research now that found places where there's legalization, the more violent crime. It's gone up astronomically in Colorado ever since we legalized it. My dog is just going hard at this door right now. Stop it. It's trying so hard. So I posted this. I live in Colorado, and the problem that we are facing is not just legalization. The major problem is transplant politicians that have taken over our legislature. Marxists owning the majority, passing insane laws. Weed was legalized in 2013. Colorado's decline began in 2004. Okay? That's where I'm standing. That's my stance on this. Okay? And let's see. And then, the whole Trump conversation about the reclassification. I don't think these are things that are totally non-issues when you think about the grand scheme, the grand scale of what we should be doing as government. Like this type of shit is why government sucks. Okay? Because we're sitting here. Sorry, I'm gonna fucking rant for a second. We're sitting here conversating about essentially non-issues. Why are we talking about reclassification of marijuana when we should be focusing on why people can't get fucking jobs, why the economy is in ruins right now, why no one can afford a house, why no one has savings? Okay, these are the real concerns. But you're going to ask questions to Donald Trump, and Republicans are going to talk about reclassification of marijuana. We're going to point fingers about crime being a driving factor against marijuana and drugs and in cities, when the reality of crime being a reaction is not from the drugs. It is from inept and useless Democrat policies. Democrat policies that put people over citizens, or priority and what is it? What is the thing they always say? They want to build this utopia where we can't point fingers and we can't have demographic problems when it comes to crime and crime statistics and inner city crime and gang violence, murders, homicides, all these things. Okay, because they don't want to paint bad pictures on racial demographics. When we all know there's certain demographics, there's certain areas in cities that naturally foster crime, whether they have legal drugs or not. And I think a larger contributing factor is no one's talking about the fact that Denver legalized the use of decriminalized fentanyl. Okay, I'm gonna look this up right now because I'm ranting right now. Let's see, Polis decriminalized fentanyl. Okay. Check this out. Okay. 3 years ago, Jared Polis signed into law. I'm going to switch this over. It's not weed, folks. I'm telling you, it's not weed. It's inept, feckless, useless, Marxist, progressive, Democrat politicians that are trying to destroy these cities, and then they flip the script, making it sound like they're doing the good thing. Crime is actually down. When they decriminalize things, then the reports go down. It all goes in together, okay? This is 3 years ago. Jared Polis on Wednesday signed into law a sweeping measure to address the state runaway fentanyl crisis. Parts of the bill immediately became law upon the governor's signature. Let me find it here. Among the most controversial measures of the recently concluded session, HB 22-1326 seeks to address the fentanyl crisis through several means: heightened felony charges for possessions up to 1 to 4 grams and any substance containing fentanyl, harm reduction programs to help people stay alive and treat their addictions, including mandating medication class, widespread availability of opioid antagonists, such as is that like a Narcan? Yeah. And testing strips? Yeah. So they're offering testing strips that drug users could use to see if the street drugs are taking contain fentanyl. So the state is offering drug tests to test and see if they have if your drugs have fentanyl. Okay? Let me go back here. We're going to read this one. Governor Polis and the Democrats are playing election. This was written in 2022. Governor Polis and the Democrats are playing election year politics when they claim to want stronger criminal penalties for those caught selling in possession of fentanyl to kill a person. They're hoping voters will forget that Polis signed the Democrat-controlled legislature bill in 2019 to decriminalize the possession of up to 4 grams of fentanyl from felony to a misdemeanor. He decriminalized it, took it from a felony to a misdemeanor. How much can kill a person? 2 milligrams. Okay? Democrats should be ashamed of themselves for paying lip service to the tragedy of increased fentanyl overdoses in their own policies they have helped create. We searched the state's legislature's database of bills to see if Democrats have filed any dealings with fentanyl overdoses or recriminalizing the drug. None are listed. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again. Yes. So this right here shows you that the politicians themselves, okay? This is the bill. He's shifting the narrative, saying, "Oh, we're gonna focus on rehabilitation and helping the fentanyl crisis," when in reality, he was the one who made it happen in the fucking first place. Okay? Look at this. The governor lauded lawmakers for passing a bill to do something to address the large rise in fentanyl-related poisoning deaths over the past couple of years, saying the past measure, even if it was not perfect, was far more important than doing nothing. Okay? Legalization of marijuana is not the crisis, is not the cause of crime. Crime has been a very rampant thing that, like, this has been a large proponent, okay? I had this back and forth with someone, okay? Let's see here. Where was I? Yeah, Colorado's been ran by Democrats since 2004. Weed was legalized in 2013. The problem isn't legalization. It's Marxist policies and laws being passed that lead to the crime and decay. Policies that just so happen to include marijuana legalization. I am not saying that the marijuana legalization is an end-all be-all, okay? Okay? I'm saying that government has mismanaged priorities, mismanaged policies, and it's all pathetic. And these slime bags, listen, this is the kind of slime bag that we have to deal with in Colorado.
The party was relatively popular. It's not right now. What is your diagnosis for that? What's different now? Why are voters unhappy with you?
Well, I would say two things. Ultimately, the goal of any political party, hopefully ours, is to win. That means getting the 51%. I hope 55, 58% gives you a little cushion. That means that you have to provide an outlet for people's frustrations from across the ideological spectrum, right? The Democrats need votes from everybody from never Trump conservative Republicans to disaffected socialists to moderates to progressives to liberals. They're all part of the Democratic coalition.
You said disaffected socialists? What the fuck does that even mean?
We're going to win with 55, 58%.
The party was relatively popular.
What an idiot. What an absolute fucking retard. Oh, probably can't say that on YouTube, right? Oh, I don't give a shit. Strike me down, YouTube gods. Okay? Denver. The city of Denver will begin laying off employees next month, and impacting the employees will be notified week of August 18th, according to an email from Mike Johnson, Mayor Mike Johnson. Okay? Beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah, folks, I'm just going to, I don't know where else to really go. What else? What was I going to say? Yeah. Here's my priorities, okay? I'm sick of government causing more problems than they lead on. They always pick the wrong problems to take into account, take in consideration. They always focus their efforts on stupid, good-for-nothing fucking bills, good-for-nothing measures. And that prime example is weed legalization, crime legalization. Okay, I wanted to show you this really quick before we wrap up. But this is the crimes. This is crime stats in Colorado. Okay, this is violent crime. So crime has gone up in Colorado. Okay, you see all the red areas. You see Denver, obviously. Overall crime grade is a F. Cost of crime for Colorado, $4.3 billion. Okay? In 2025, crime will cost Coloradans $1,799 per household. Okay? Is Colorado safe? The F grade indicates that their crime rate is much higher than the average of the U.S. Colorado ranks fourth in the percentile of safety, meaning it is safer than 4% of states, but less safe than 96%. This analysis applies to only Colorado officials' city boundaries. See the table below. The crime rates in Colorado is 50.86 per 1,000 residents in a typical year. Cost of crime in Colorado. How much does crime cost in Colorado compared to other states? Look at this, the breakdown, the statistics here, okay? Murder, all of these, okay? Murder almost cost almost $1 billion a year, $805 million, okay? And then, I mean, this I could make a whole video on just this, okay? We are wrapping up. I am kind of burnt out today. Today's been kind of a weird day. I'm going to save this. I'll maybe make a own standalone video on data and try to make a video just based on this because this is great. Just showing you that Democrats have been in control since 2004. Colorado has seen a steep decline in its overall safety measures and overall. Look at this metro. Look at the metro. I mean, we have to take consideration. Obviously, the metro is a large swath, but I mean, Colorado. I mean, you got a lot of red, and it's weird how it kind of pans out like that. Oh, look at that! Look at that! You can see the whole United States. Okay, look at all this. But see, that's I'm kind of hesitant on that because there's basically no one lives out here. So how are these places getting an F? Like this is all grassland, but it's because there's no data to report. I'm assuming. I don't know. It's weird, but I can make a whole video on just the crime in Colorado. But I'm just trying to say that I had this whole crime data about marijuana. I'm tired. I'm tired of talking about fucking non sequitur issues that don't really mean the value and the content that I try to push out. I want people to succeed in their life. I want people to be successful in their life. I don't want people to get hung up and disenfranchised with politics. And right now, I think a lot of people are, me included. I'm just sick and tired of seeing useless politicians and chasing their own tail when it comes to politics and when it comes to policies and it comes to standing up for principles and rights and values and seeing a lot of nothing get done. And then you get people in the federal government bitching and moaning about, foreign registered lobbyists and these foreign countries lobbying politicians. Okay? I'm sick and tired of it. And I want to see fiscal and fundamental changes in our society, and I don't know how to do that. And I'm hopefully, let me know what you think in the chat because I'm a little tired, and I want people to not be disenfranchised. I'm trying to hold it together. It's tough when we're in a standstill in politics right now. I feel like there's a lot of nothing really happening. It's a lot of useless platitudes and empty words, empty phrases. Okay, yeah, like you see, like this, for example. Like, look at this. You get the Democrat. 9 Texas state Democrats walk out to block the redistricting vote. I mean, it's all another on today's episode of government politics bullshit. I'm fucking tired of it, dude. What do we do to make it better? What do we do to make it change? I don't want to see this. Maybe we need more of this.
And on behalf of House District 50, I just want to say taxation is theft. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you.
And on behalf
Thank you, Ryan Gonzalez. On behalf of House District 50, taxation is theft. Okay. Oh, I'm gonna end this. I'm gonna end the stream because I'm tired and I want to. I think I need to go for a walk or something, clear my head. But it is George Soros' birthday, so I'm wishing him a final happy birthday on his 95th birthday. Happy final birthday, George Soros. Hopefully you will be resting in peace very soon. The world will be much better. Well, unfortunately, he's super old, so his grandson Alexander Soros is taking the mantle of globalist shit stain. But that's neither here nor there. Just wanted to lighten it up with some levity. Let's end this on a positive note, guys. I've had an interesting day, but we're gonna end this on a positive note. A kind of a funny video. It's gonna be amazing. Made from Cerebral Pisces on X. You can find him there. But we're gonna watch the unofficial video for the gay games. For the gay Olympics here in Denver, Colorado.
Together, out west. Together, let's take the gay games to new heights. Denver is ready.
Let's
Amazing.
show the world that Colorado is a place where we champion rights for all.
Beautiful.
While creating a championship atmosphere for every athlete.
Because we've got diversity out west.
Let's make sure that every kind of athlete and every kind of person participates
Amazing.
out west.
Amazing.
Feels included
Bold.
out west.
And brave.
Let's go for the gold out west.
Be loud and proud out west.
Love who you want out west.
Amazing.
Come out,
I'm so
as
proud.
you
I'm so
are,
proud to be a
out west.
Coloradan.
Together, out west.
Ridiculous. Gay Games, Denver 2030. The Gay Games. This is the, but it's funny because Cerebral Pisces obviously made a joke of this. Yeah. Totally agreed. Totally agreed. This is a great video, amazing. It's showing the ridiculousness and the insanity. I was laughing and vomiting simultaneously watching that video, and I honestly don't know. I'm probably in trouble on YouTube because I played that, but this is the kind of trash. This is the kind of trash that they try to promote. Meanwhile, Denver and Colorado are in literal, visceral, visual decay. So. It is funny, and this is Brianna Titone, Brian Titlis over here in the in House District 27. Okay, this is what this creature decided to write when they got their top surgery. Talking about getting new breasts and some TMI information. I'm not even going to read that. If I squeeze just right, the right way. Clear liquid. Oh, amazing. God. Incredible. Makes me sick. But yeah, these are the people that are running in our Colorado State House. Let's refresh ourselves. Let's get this out of here. Okay? I don't want any of this. I don't need any of this in my state. Thank you very much. Thank you. Have a nice day. Okay, I wanted to, shout out to Cerebral Pisces for making a banger video. I'm gonna try to come back. I'm gonna come back strong, folks. I'm gonna come back strong. I don't know if I'm gonna be doing a live stream tomorrow, but at the end of the day, I want everyone to know that it is difficult and trying times here in the world we live in, but I genuinely appreciate everyone being a part of this grand experiment, of this great place that we call America. I want people to succeed. I want people to question authority, question their government. Do not take sides. Do not be an NPC. Do not be a tribalist. Question. If something doesn't make sense to you, if you believe in something strong enough, if you believe in something true enough, I want you to stand for it. Stand by it. Don't just follow the herd, because I could have easily said, "Oh well, I voted for legalization of weed, and we got to legalize every drug." I genuinely believe that the government should not have any power or any control of the legalization of drugs. And I think that the whole war on drugs was a whole ruse with the CIA, with the drug running, all these things. I mean, they made more money. And on top of that, now you have Colorado right now, the state of Colorado and all of its marijuana. The marijuana industry is now in the tank. It's in the dumpster right now because it was overstimulated and overdeveloped, and now it's found its equilibrium, and people can't, and marijuana dispensaries and grow houses are going up, and greenhouses are vacant because it overestimated because of the market. And not only that, the government's making a pretty penny on it, and that all ties in. The marijuana income also ties in with the taxable revenue, and then also ties in with Tabor. So there's so many different levels as to why I think that there's a lot more headache and a lot more frustration when a government quote unquote legalizes it. Okay, it's the same thing what happens with alcohol, the legalization of alcohol. Then it becomes a whole industry. Okay. And I'm not saying that industries are bad, but I'm also saying that the government gets its hands in the industry, and then it causes a problem, because then you start getting government monopolies and buddy deals, trying to get kickbacks to operate within this legal drug area. Not to mention, we got people again on the opposite spectrum where they're against the legalization because they want to corner the market for big pharma, for pharmaceutical companies, for doctors, for synthetic drugs, right? So there's two arguments on both of these things. Point being, the government doesn't make the best decision for you. You make the best decision for yourself. If you guys enjoy ranting, I know it's kind of a weird stream today, but give me a thumbs up button, because it takes some time and it takes some mental effort, mental clarity to do this on repeat all the time. And I feel for everyone, all the content creators that do it, because I only do it I only do it when I want to, let alone all the ones who do it 5 times, 6 times a day. God damn, that's crazy. But give me a thumbs up. Give me a follow if you are interested. Tyranny Response Tuesdays on Tuesdays. Break the Chains Media on Instagram. Break the Chains M on X. You can find me at breakthechains.media where I do my video, or where I post all my socials, and I have my my blogs and my posts there. But folks, I appreciate you. I thank you for all of this, and I think we're going to be wrapping up here. Thumbs up in the chat if you're a first-time viewer. But thanks for being here. We are going to be wrapping up really quick. We are going to be sending it over to Timcast right now, because I think that's just the best way to go about this. The best way to get this going is to do a nice little raid over there, because that's what I do. That's what I do. You got to support your other creators. You got to support the other creators. So I'm going to be doing that now. So without further ado, I appreciate you. I love you. Thank you so much for being a part of Break the Chains Media. Thanks for hanging out for Tyranny Response Tuesday. We will see you next time. And as always, fight for freedom and never give up.
What up? So, while I was writing today,
Hold on.